Hey guys, this is Andrew of Grasping Triumph. Today I'm going to be talking about personal philosophies. So a personal philosophy is your thoughts, beliefs, concepts, and attitudes about everything. It's your approach to leading your life. In the context of this podcast, however, it's a series of phrases written by you, which effectively summarize your values, goals, habits, and the lengths you'll go to realize them. Some people think a personal philosophy is which external belief system you ascribe to. For example, a religion or philosophy like humanism or atheism. These are guidelines or stances on certain issues. Atheism is a stance on the existence of deities, and humanism is a belief about the agency of humanity and life's inherent value. These can be incorporated into your personal philosophy, but the core ideas really should be your own. It should read to someone who knows you deeply as a sort of window into your soul. These documents are constant works of progress, as we challenge our limiting beliefs, strive for further growth and development, and experience and learn more of the universe. Our philosophies deepen and evolve. So with all that in mind, let's begin the process of crafting you a personal philosophy that even years from now, you'll still be able to smile on for the guidance and support it gave to you. A personal philosophy is a big step, and I think some context is necessary to effectively craft one. 13.4 billion years ago, there was a sudden drastic expansion of matter known as the Big Bang. From that not-so-humble beginning, anything and everything that is and ever will exist in this universe came into being. Or at least for right now, it appears to be that way. That's such a long time ago we can't effectively even understand it. It's just a big number to gawk at. Our existences are simply a blip in time to the universe. But to us, that blip in time is everything. The lives we're leading right now are all we'll ever know. We came to be here through a gradual and incredibly lucky series of mutations to various organisms, which progressed for billions of years. Here being on this giant, wet, somewhat metallic rock orbited by a much smaller rock spinning or falling towards a giant gas ball of extraordinary hot gas. Existence is incredibly weird, and we just sort of happen to be going through it. If you compare us to bacteria on a cell, we're actually pretty similar. We're stuck on this one biological organism that to us seems massive and which we cannot easily escape from. But like a virus, we're gradually reproducing and building up our capacity to escape our host and spread. There's all these different levels to life, all these microorganisms on us, and we're just the largest level of life we can detect. But in the same way a bacteria can't even comprehend our existence, let alone directly interact with it, we still exist, and life orders above us easily could too. And like that bacteria on the cell, we're simply too far below to understand. But that doesn't mean some sort of benevolent deity is looking down on us. It just means that life is more expansive than we can currently comprehend. We're only aware of all this because our genetic line progressed towards brain size over speed or strength. Our genetic line only had the opportunity to evolve because our home rock happened to have the right composition to emit a magnetic shield which protects us from the big gas ball's deadly radiation. Luckily, we're not so far that a bit of that radiation couldn't be trapped within that shield to warm us. It's all very coincidental, especially given that none of the planets we've observed thus far have life. But we've only sampled a fraction of the billions upon billions of galaxies out there, each with further billions of giant rocks, each of which could harbor life. And that's only the matter on the same relative size scale. There's likely stuff much bigger and smaller out there we have no knowledge of. This isn't science fiction, and the Fermi paradox aside, it is almost guaranteed to be life out there. And barring some sort of apocalypse situation, we are rapidly advancing our capabilities towards being able to escape this planet and colonize, at the very least, this galaxy. It may not be for thousands of years, but it'll happen. Life is this crazy adventure where we're on this wet rock covered in other life, likely covering other life ourselves, and all around our universe. There's almost guaranteed to be other conscious but completely different life that's tripping around just like we are, and we ignore that. This goes to show the tremendous scale of life and how insignificant things like national borders and petty individual disputes really are. It also shows how confusing existing is, and how there really is no clear purpose except that which we set for ourselves. That's why personal philosophies are so important. They help us to sort through all the madness and focus on what truly matters. Values are like fingerprints. Nobody's are the same, but you leave them all over everything you do. Elvis Presley. Right now, you've got things you want. Things like fast cars and beautiful sexual partners notwithstanding. You've also got these deep, intensely personal desires that you crave every waking moment. You're not fully aware of them necessarily, but they're there. For instance, when I was younger, and still today, my mom intensely valued having a stable, strong family life. However, if you were observing her, all you would have seen is her working at least 2 jobs and making time for her kids whenever possible. Her inherent value, what she truly wanted, shined through what she did to realize that, even if she didn't consciously acknowledge what it was she was pursuing. Look for those. For me, primarily, I want to make the universe a better place. I want to start and lead my own businesses, lead an adventurous existence, have a great family life, and be happy. On top of those, I have a bunch of other things I want to do, like going wingsuit diving, getting some martial arts fights in, and so on. Those are desires more than values. But the fact that I have those desires represents how my values, like the adventurous existence, shine through the rest of my life. Even this site can be focused through the lens of those values. With its focus on being happy through self-improvement and working on other things you care about, the fact that I run it myself, and that at least it helps you guys further your dreams and thus improves the world through your increased contributions from that help. Your values are probably somewhat similar to those, but uniquely different to you. Find what they are and see if your current lifestyle aligns with your true values. Don't worry if they don't, neither do all of mine. But as time passes, the gap is shrinking, and my actions more closely align with my true values. And the longer you have a personal philosophy, the longer yours will too. So this part's kind of personal, and you may just have to spend a few days ruminating on it, and letting ideas sort of flow through your mind. But I'm going to try to talk you through uncovering your values. So first, get a pad of paper and a pen. It's better to write down your thoughts to stay organized and not forget. Mentally distance yourself from whatever is currently weighing you down. There's no time for anchors holding us back as we explore the vast, beautiful landscapes of our mind. Run your happiest moments through your mind. Feel the emotions and embody how you felt at the time. Try and uncover why that event made you feel so uniquely fulfilled and satisfied. If it's an achievement, look beyond that. Look into what motivated you to pursue the achievement in that field in the first place. If it's a specific event with a person, understand why that specific event triggered this feeling. Was it that it confirmed your mutual love, or validated some intrinsic longing you have? Dig deep. Think over the goals you've set for yourself. At this point, they may be vague or more inclinations than concrete plans, but isolate them and bring them to the light of your awareness. Understand what values underlie those goals. Why are those the things you want to pursue? This process may take some time, and there are a myriad of options online that can give you the guidance you need. A good example by a veteran self-development blogger, Steve Pavlina, is included in the link. His list is more passive concepts like love or fulfillment, which are hard to actually implement into your life, rather than actionable concepts like leading a business, which integrate those passive concepts like discipline or integrity into something you actually do, which is leading the business. And remember, your list of values does not need to be perfect, just kind of good enough for now. As you delve further into this process, you'll find yourself revising your values as you dig deeper into your true intrinsic inclinations and desires. Integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching, C.S. Lewis. Knowingly or not, you're currently following some sort of ethical code. Your actions, thoughts, and worldly beliefs have all been amalgamated into your moral beliefs. These moral beliefs shape how you perceive the rightness or wrongness of your own and others' actions. While strictly speaking, there are no physical punishments for violating an ethical code, there are social and emotional repercussions. Ethics is a fairly dry topic. Most people abide by the heuristic, if I don't feel bad about it, it's probably not wrong. This haphazard approach to what's right usually leads people to feeling regrets later on in life, as they realize all the mistakes they made, as what they view as right changes with their goals and what they want. People will lie, cheat, steal, and seemingly always find ways to justify it. Like me, you're probably guilty of something like that yourself. But that's okay. I know I'm no saint. What's important is understanding our mistakes and improving as a result of them. The guide to knowing when we've made ethical mistakes is our moral code. And by actually codifying our moral beliefs and not leaving them to knee-jerk reactions in crisis situations, we prepare for the world. Your moral code will likely be in line with your values. For instance, my moral code is very liberal. I feel all life is valuable. But whereas lots of life is interchangeable, like trees and microorganisms, I feel each conscious being is unique and should be cherished. I think people should be left to make their own mistakes, free of government intervention, with psychedelics, or with other tools or aids that only affect us as individuals. Those people should be free to use as they choose. But if those those freedoms have the likelihood of harming others, like firearms, weapons, anything dangerous to others, they should be controlled. I feel honesty, kindness, openness, and ambition are all crucial traits for humanity's further growth. We are a group of individuals who fight within the group to temporarily control a wet rock. We need to work together. We need to cooperate as a species, not as a collection of arbitrarily defined nations to further life's expansion into the universe, and thus preserve it in case of catastrophe to Earth. Your moral code may be different. That's just an example of how someone's could look. But if you analyze that code, and assuming I actually follow it, you can basically see how I'll react in any given situation and for what reason. You know me. I know from experience that my beliefs make me happy. And while we all likely have somewhat different beliefs, if you find and live true to yours, you'll find more happiness from life too. Try and extrapolate from your values a moral code you believe you can realistically follow. If you craft an impossible code, you set yourself up for failure and guilt. Don't do that. When you look at the finished list, you should feel some warmth in your chest. It should resonate with you. You should feel like you found the words that finally describe your attitude toward the world. Or not. It's a work in progress, but you should feel like you've made something valuable, something you care about. If you do feel that, it means you've invested at least a little bit of yourself into it, which is crucial. If it's not personal, it doesn't matter to you. You won't follow it. And it's not true. First we make our habits, then our habits make us. Charles C. Noble. Assuming you've been following along, you should essentially have a list of what you want and the lengths you're willing to go to get it. The final step is to make a plan for achieving those values. For instance, again, my values are to make the universe a better place, run my own business, lead an adventurous existence, have a great family life, and be happy. But those are concepts. I have to actually do things to realize them. My execution of those values are what I actually spend my time doing. I'm going to school learning entrepreneurship and strategy. I'm in the Canadian Reserves to learn how to lead, to be disciplined, and learn survival skills for when I'm traveling after graduation. I'm going on an international university exchange next year to further my independence and to discover intuitively a business model I can work on during my 4th year. This is the stuff I'm doing right now, day by day, to realize my values. I imagine you can intuitively understand how I decided to do those things based on what I want for my life. They're natural steps. By doing those things, I'm closer to achieving my values. Try and do the same. This may lead to some painful realizations, like your job not contributing to your values beyond the money. That's why lots of people say, find your passion. Or in other words, find ways of supporting yourself monetarily through doing things that contribute to your values, or things that you enjoy. For me, amongst other things, that's this site and the revenue I generate through it. If that's an issue, brainstorm and try and think of a project or a career path that allows you to realize your values while simultaneously earning or creating paychecks. Once you have your plan, you should find ways to execute it through daily habits. For instance, university isn't so tough to schedule. I just need to attend class, do assignments, and write tests. But for this site and the podcast, if I didn't make a weekly habit of writing an article and recording the audio, I wouldn't get them done. I can tell you with certainty, I'm rarely, on the couch or waking up in the morning thinking, damn, I'd really like to spend the next 10 hours working on my laptop. But because I have the long-term plan structuring my work, and I've built a habit of using my day off to write an article and record the audio, I keep up a constant output. Or if I don't have a defined morning routine, as another example, I find myself forgetting things or running out of time. If I'm waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning for an 8 o'clock class, if I'm not organized, I'm just hazy and don't do stuff. I sit on Instagram for 2 hours. So by doing things the same way every day in a way I enjoy, I stay motivated, on track, and don't forget important stuff like assignments, gym clothes, or lunch. I fit in meditating, light flexibility work, some push-ups. I get to write my journal. I have a supplement-packed smoothie and breakfast for energy to work out, and so on. I get to do all my stuff reliably every day. Set routines like that help structure stuff, especially complicated or not big stuff, little stuff. Did it with a calendar for structuring days' outputs, like working on certain projects, different meetings with people, and so on. If you have a list of the stuff you're going to do for that day in a calendar, you'll look at it. And then, because you're now accountable for the stuff you've written down, you have a responsibility to yourself, and there'll be some sort of negative repercussion like guilt. You'll naturally tend towards just doing it, which is exactly what you want, because if day after day, month after month, you do exactly that, over long periods of time, you can achieve extraordinary things, which years before would have seemed impossible. All the people doing the biggest stuff in the world you see, they don't do it overnight. they, over time, work hard, day by day, and the results compound over time until they get more skilled and more efficient. And they've just built so much that inertia just keeps carrying them towards these giant things. Elon Musk, he may be incredibly smart, but he didn't build SpaceX overnight. Same with Bill Gates and Microsoft. It took them days and hours and months and time just of hard working. So by using calendars and daily habits and whatnot, you can structure that work and actually end up doing it. You can achieve big things too. Your personal philosophy is your greatest determining factor in how your life works out. Jim Rohn. Your personal philosophy is a work in progress. Every day you'll find new ways to improve it or to make it more meaningful. That's all part of the process. You won't have all the answers today. But what you can do is start. You may not find my methods to your liking. You may think having some sheet with words written on it to be ridiculous. What's not ridiculous, though, is having some sort of concrete idea for what you want from your life, because it will pass you by, and no one but you can make the most of it. How you're going to get whatever it is you want, which should be somewhat specific, because on days you are lacking motivation or direction, I don't think the goal to work hard will be very helpful. Be specific. And finally, what's important is what lengths you're willing to go to get there. Because for the moments where life tests you, it's helpful to know what you are and aren't willing to do. Know what you're about. I hope this podcast and the accompanying exercises have helped you to better understand yourself and how you plan to achieve what you really want from your life. If you know someone who needs a kick in the pants, share this podcast with them, or at least share any knowledge you've learned that you think may help them. And keep pushing. A good life is built day by day, brick by brick. Always looking out for you, Andrew. The key points of this podcast have been: a personal philosophy is your thoughts, beliefs, concepts, and attitudes about everything. It's your approach to leading your life. Put your existence into perspective. We are small to some and large to others, and we could easily die out at any moment. Do things that are important to you. Find your values. If you were to die tomorrow, what would you look back at and be proud of? Find your moral code. A moral code is what you are willing to do in order to realize your values. You'll find once you have a strict moral code that life becomes much simpler. Instead of being restricting, it frees you from having to make constant ethical decisions. You know what you're about and always will. Make a plan for achieving your values. Execute your plan through SMART goals, habits, and milestones. Start the process today, and you'll find over time and thought you'll naturally refine the document into something very meaningful and motivating. Thank you for listening. This has been Andrew of Grasping Triumph.